Hey friends, welcome back to Homeschool-ology. If you're new here, my name is Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4. I've got a 7th grader, a 3rd grader, and then a 5 and 3-year-old who are doing like a combined pre-K level. On this channel, I talk to you mostly about secular homeschooling, but also a little about motherhood and having a larger family and traveling with a larger family and everything in between. Today's video is a collaboration with Davene at Calm in the Chaos and Shauna at Homegrown Homeschool. And we are all going to be sharing with you how we pick curriculum for a new school year. So I hope you will go down and check out their channels. They are linked down in the description box, as well as the playlist where they and I and a bunch of other moms here in the homeschooling community are sharing with you about how we pick our curriculum for a new year. So come along. Further, I would love it if you would head on down and hit that subscription button and ring the notification bell so you can see when the videos are coming out here on this channel, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it, if it's something that you found useful. So like as I said, today we're going to be talking about how we pick curriculum for a new school year. So this is kind of going to focus a little bit more on picking curriculum as somebody who's already been homeschooling, but I will be interjecting kind of like my thoughts on when you're very first starting out, because that is probably the most tricky and most anxiety producing time when it comes to curriculum, is where do you even begin? So I'm going to do this in like 5 steps here, and I'm going to share with you what I do now that I've been homeschooling for several years and what my tips are for people who are just starting out. So number 1 is evaluate. So for me, as somebody who's been homeschooling, this is our 8th year, we're moving into our 9th year, I will evaluate what is going well curriculum-wise and what is not going well curriculum-wise. So I will look at everything that we've used and I will say, this program we're liking, we're going to continue on with this. This program's not working for us, so we are going to try something new. So I will look at all of my curriculum across the board and, you know, see where we might have weak spots, or where, you know, or is there a subject that we want to focus more on this year, you know, because we don't do every subject every year. So we might want to focus more heavy on science one year and more heavy on history one year. So that is all. I'm going to evaluate where we are in our learning. So if you are starting out, what you want to evaluate is, what is your homeschool style going to be like? There are tons of resources on the internet about all the different homeschool styles. I'm going to remind you that you don't have to pick one. You don't have to put yourself in one box. You can pull pieces from each and every box, whatever you think is going to work best for you and your family. We love literature-based. We also enjoy letting our children make choices about what they're learning about. So we are that, you know, literature is Charlotte Mason, and letting students have choice is unschooling. So we pull from both of those, and we pull from other ones as well. So we are a little bit kind of classical in the sense that, like, I require that they have math and English, you know, or language arts every single day, you know, but then from there it's kind of, they get to make their choices. So we are very eclectic, and it's okay to be that. You just need to decide what's going to work for your homeschool. Then you need to look at your kids, and if you're first starting out, you might not know this for sure yet, but you might have a little bit of an understanding of how your kids like to learn. Do you have a kid that just absorbs everything that you say to them? Do you have a kid that really likes to get their hands dirty? Do you have a kid who can watch something one time and know how to do it? Like, you know, how is your child learning? What is their learning style? So when you're first starting out, you might not know what that is, and that's okay. It's okay to experiment. But try to think about, how is my child going to learn best? Do they like being on the computer doing things, or do they like sitting on the couch reading with me? Because that is going to matter when it comes to what curriculum you pick. So step 1, evaluate. Where are you now? Where would you like to go? Step 2 is revisit. In my case, I'm going to revisit my whys, or where I think my children should be. If you are just starting out, you're going to set up your whys. Did you choose homeschooling? What are you expecting your children to get over the next year? So for me, I'm going to look at, I'm going to kind of go back to why did we choose homeschooling? What are my goals for my children? Where are they right now? And where do I want them to be by the end of the year? So step one was evaluate what is working, what I want, what my homeschool is going to look like. Step two is, what is our goal? What is the outcome that I want? So they're similar, but they're slightly different. Once I have looked at all of that, once I have decided all of that, I am going to set my budget. It is very, very important that you set a budget going in, because curriculum can be really fun to look at. Curriculum can be really fun to choose. You are going to want to try all the things, especially if you're starting out. You're going to be like, where do I even begin? There's so many things to look at. And we are so fortunate to have that, because when I started with my daughter 8 years ago, there really weren't that many choices, especially secular choices. And so it is so nice now that there are so many things for you guys to choose from, but it can get very overwhelming. So what you need to do is you need to sit down and create a budget. You need to say, this is how much I'm going to spend. I'm not going to go over this amount. I need to find things that work within this budget. And I did last year, I'll link my video last year of like my budget. I did one about what my budget was going to be and then I did another one on how well we stuck to it. So I'll link those below, and I'll probably do that again this year. So if you hit that notification bell, you can see when that video comes out. But you need to have an idea of what you are going to spend. If that is $0, that is fine. You are going to be able to find things out there for $0. If that is, a minimum or, minimal amount of $200 or $300, you can find things within that, but just setting your budget, knowing where you need to look is going to help you narrow down that sea of options out there for you. Like knowing, you might not want to look at Michael Clay Thompson if you don't have a budget that is healthy, because it is a very expensive program, so like it can help you narrow down your choices really easily. So you're not going to be like lost in this sea of, oh my gosh, there's so much out there. So if you set a budget and you say, I only want to spend this much, that is going to help you a lot. It's going to help you from buying everything, like this is your budget, this is what you're going to stick to, and then you can reevaluate as the year goes on, expand the budget if you need to, if you can, but setting a budget is going to help minimize that vast options out there. So we have number one was evaluate. Where are my kids now? Where do I want, where are my kids now? Where are we at? What's working? What's not working? Step two is, where am I wanting to go? What is my goal? So step three, what is my budget? What parameters do I have to work within? So step number four is start the research process. So this is the fun part, but this is not the part where you start. You do not start here. You are going to get overwhelmed. You need to do step one, evaluate, where are my kids now? Step two, revisit my goals. Where do I want them to be? Step three, set a budget. You need your parameters set in place before you get to this step. Then when I have my parameters, I know that I can start looking at things that fit within those parameters. So this is the fun part though. This is the part where you get to watch all the YouTube videos of the moms sharing, this is what works for them, this what doesn't work for them. I'm not going to watch one video and just look at their website though. I am going to try to watch a couple of videos from different moms with different backgrounds and different homeschools, and try to find the homeschool that closely aligns with my homeschool to see what, if it's going to work for them, maybe it'll work for me too. But if it works for this mom over here that doesn't run her homeschool the same way that I run it, that might not work for us. So I'm going to research, and you do want to spend a decent amount of time looking at things, but you don't want to spend an absorbent amount of time looking at things. Like if there's a trial, please try the trial before you buy the curriculum, because that is going to give you an idea. A lot of these programs have at least one or two episodes, one or two lessons available to you to try out. Sometimes even, I know IEW gives you like 3 weeks worth of lessons for you to try out before you invest in something, to know if it's going to work for your child. So do your research, try some things out. If you do take off over the summer, it's okay to try, you know, a lesson or two here or there, even though you're on summer break, to see if your kiddos are into that curriculum. We don't take breaks, and we homeschool year round, and we don't stay on, like, we don't start all our curriculum in August and finish all our curriculum in August of the next year. That's just not how we roll. We just cruise along as we cruise along, and if that means we finish something, we finish something, and if that means that we're still working on something, and when we start the new year, that means we're still working on something. My kids typically start a new math every January rather than every August. So if that works for your homeschool, that works for your homeschool. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, everybody can do what works for them. So anyways, most of our things do go from August to August. So now I've evaluated where we are. You know, if we're in the middle of math, I know I don't need math until January. I am remembering our goals. Where do I want them to be math-wise? Do I want them to be on grade level, or am I okay with them being a little behind, or are they going to be ahead, because that's our goal? You know, like, where do we want them to be? What is our goal? I've set my budget for what I have available. If I need to find something new, this is the budget I have to spend on it. I've done my research. I've looked at a couple of different options that meet my needs and my children's needs, and then my final step is going to be make a plan. Why do I say this? Why do I say make a plan and not just buy the curriculum? Because as I just spoke to, we don't need our new curriculum in August, because we're not going to be done with the one that we have. We can wait until, you know, November or December to pick it up, because we won't need it until January. So I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to say, this is what we plan on using next year. This is when we are going to need the new curriculum, and this is when I'm going to buy the new curriculum. So basically, I'm going to sit down with my budget, I'm going to sit down with my calendar, I'm going to sit down with my curriculum, you know, and I'm just going to create a plan. This is what we're going to be using for these things. This is how I want to use it. So I want to do math 4 days a week. I want to do language arts 4 days a week. I want to do history 2 days a week. But I'm going to create my plan. And so I'm going to see how all the puzzle pieces are going to work together. I'm going to write down, like, we're in the middle of math, so we're not going to finish it until January. I need to make myself a note that in December I need to order new math. You know, like, I'm going to create my plan for the new year. That is what I'm going to do. I wanted to make this 5 steps, but, you know, bonus step, then you put your plan in action. And so it's as simple as that. So just as a quick recap, step number 1, evaluate for somebody who's, you know, picking curriculum, who's already homeschooling and picking curriculum. That's evaluate where you are, what's working, what's not working. If that's somebody new to the homeschool world, that is evaluate what you want your homeschool to look like, evaluate how your children learn. Step number 2 is revisit my whys. Why did I choose homeschool? What are my goals? What do I want my children to accomplish over this next year? Step 3 is creating a budget. How much money do I want to spend on curriculum, or how much money do I have to spend on curriculum this year? And step number 4 is do your research, watch the videos, read the blogs, check out the websites, do your research. And then step number 5, make a plan. How am I going to use all of these components? Are they all going to fit in my day? Are they all going to fit in my month? Is this a realistic goal that we are setting for ourselves? And then you're going to put that plan into action once you have started your new year. So I think that is all I'm going to share with you guys today. I hope you found any of this helpful. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them for you down in the comments. I would love it if you would go down and check out Davene and Shauna's channels. They're linked down below. Don't forget, this is a video is part of a collaboration playlist, which is also linked down in the description below for you guys. I will link a few of my videos where I've talked about planning before, if you want to learn more about how I do things. And I think that's all I'm going to share with you guys. So don't forget, you can always come over to Instagram at Homeschool-ology and find me over there and chat with me over there. And I'm always happy to answer or chat with you here in the comments. I think that is all I'm going to share with you guys. Can you believe we are already here at picking new curriculum for a new school year? I feel like this school year just started. You know, and so, but we're here, we've made it, we are starting the process once again. And so I will be sharing some collab videos and some other videos, and of course all the curriculum reviews and everything with you guys as we are coming across them. I will be sharing my budget with you, upcoming, so make sure you've hit that notification bell so you can know when these videos are coming out if they are interesting to you. And I think that's it. So I'm gonna say goodbye, and I hope you guys will come back and chat with me again soon, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.